Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Biorlo. Happening right now, the New Haven Police Department is investigating an officer-involved shooting.
The officers say they were attempting to perform a routine drug search warrant this morning when someone started shooting at them from inside an apartment.
Fox 61's Jamel Johnson is in New Haven with the very latest.
At 5:40 Wednesday morning, the West Haven Police Department, along with the DEA, the Drug Task Force, and the New Haven Police Department were all here at this apartment building behind me. They were about to perform a routine drug inspection for narcotics, but the only problem was the person inside did not want them to enter peacefully. As soon as those officers entered, shots were fired at them, and officers returned that fire, but 2 officers got injured and had to have immediate medical attention. When shots were fired at apartment 105 on Grand Avenue in New Haven, officers knew immediately that the situation had changed. New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson says what started as a simple search warrant escalated into a full-blown shootout before the sun was even up.
This was a long scene. It wasn't just shots fired and it was over. There was shots fired and an officer struck. Then there was time in between. He was barricaded in a room. Then there was more shots fired. So it was clear that this suspect was not going to retreat peacefully. There was attempts to speak to him.
Chief Jacobson says by the time it was over, 2 West Haven officers had been shot in the leg area and the suspect had been shot as well. Both officers suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were transported to Yale New Haven Hospital, where one has since been released. The suspect, however, died on the scene.
We're really proud of the officers' efforts. It's unfortunately that the suspect succumbed to his injuries, but it's clear from the initial investigation that he was firing at officers and even was given an attempt to talk to him, and that failed.
New Haven Mayor Justin Elliker says this puts the risk of an officer's job into perspective. Chief Jacobson says that there were 3 other people inside the apartment at the time of the shootout.
There was a 32-year-old female who is registered to that apartment and an 8-year-old female who was registered to that apartment. There was a 52-year-old grandfather there as well. And after the shots were exchanged, it was the officers' first priority to get the other people safely out of the apartment, which was extremely challenging.
After the shootout was over, officers were able to evacuate the other members of the family and get them to safety.
Thank goodness that the other members of the family are okay. The chief and I spoke with the grandfather and the 8-year-old girl this morning, and you can just imagine how terrified they were inside that building.
Police Chief Jacobson said that in the coming days, the Inspector General will release body camera footage as well as the name of the suspect and any other additional information they may have regarding the case. Chief Jacobson did say that the suspect is 35 years old and they have a prior criminal history. In New Haven, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Jamel, thank you. And just before these officers were fired upon and injured in the line of duty, state lawmakers expanded benefits for surviving families in situations like these. Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier, who was killed in the line of duty back in May, was part of the state pension system, but his family wasn't able to collect because the rules were that the person killed had to have completed 25 years of state work or be above the age of 55. Well, last night lawmakers voted to throw out that criteria, and now any surviving family member will be able to access benefits after a line of duty tragedy.
Well, just a few hours ago, the White House Budget Office rescinded its order to freeze federal funding.
Yeah, and this comes less than 2 days after the memo sparked widespread outrage. Fox 61's Emma Wolforth joins us now in studio with the latest. And Emma, boy, there's been a lot of confusion about this, huh?
Absolutely, Brent, Bridget. And if you're feeling some whiplash with all of this back and forth right now, you're not alone. So let's break down what we do know right now.
48 hours of back and forth. Wednesday afternoon, the White House Office of Management and Budget rescinded a memo which froze federal grants and loans. This after a federal judge temporarily blocked the pause until Monday, and Connecticut Attorney General William Tong joined 21 other states in suing to stop the policy. But the White House order already created chaos and confusion for many, with nonprofits here in Connecticut saying when there's a lack of clarity, it sows fear.
They fear not for themselves, they fear for the people who depend on them for services.
But even with Monday night's OMB memo rescinded, many questions remain. Wednesday afternoon, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on X, quote, "This is not a rescission of the federal funding freeze. It is simply a rescission of the OMB memo." Why? To end any confusion created by the court's injunction. The president's EOs on federal funding remain in full force and effect and will be rigorously implemented. So what does that mean? Well, President Trump's previous executive orders freezing specific aid, like foreign assistance and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, are still in effect. Even still, many Connecticut federal and state lawmakers, elected officials, and residents say this is far from over.
We talk about shelter and housing for families. We're talking about behavioral health, mental health care, and substance abuse treatment. We're talking about services for people with disabilities.
In a statement Wednesday, Senator Richard Blumenthal said, quote, "This federal funding freeze is theft and corruption." He continued, "These whiplash reversals only exacerbate the confusion and chaos and amplify disruption and damage to essential services." Attorney General Tong also issued a statement writing, quote, "I do not for a second believe this threat is over." He added, "The announcements from the White House today are just more confusion and chaos. We are in court today, and we are going to stay there for as long as it takes to protect Connecticut families and our state."
And as of right now, overall federal loans and grants appear to be unchanged. A federal judge tonight signaled he was willing to issue a temporary restraining order, the one proposed by the 22 state attorneys general who sued, to stop the Trump administration from freezing federal funding. Brent, Bridget.
All right, Emma, a lot to watch there. We know you'll stay on it. Thank you. Turning now to the weather. A bit warmer out there today, but certainly windy.
Yeah, meteorologist Deshaun Robinson here now with a look at the forecast. Deshaun?
Hey guys, yes, it is warm and breezy out there. We have those gusts blowing up to 40 miles per hour. Now, our wind advisory is in effect through 10 p.m. as there could be some gusts over 40 miles per hour at times, which could cause some isolated power outages. Breezy evening across Connecticut. The wind is just howling out there. We had a gust near 38 miles per hour in New Haven, 21 in Hartford, and 37 miles per hour in Groton. Now, the radar is also pretty active. Lots of snow showers and snow squalls in upstate New York. A couple of these will work their way into Connecticut, but these will be brief and fast moving. Also, temperatures will be above freezing, so accumulation is not a big issue for this evening. Now, for the next couple of hours, rain and snow showers will push through our area. Drier conditions move in for this evening and tonight, and the clouds will clear out as we head into the morning. Temperatures will fall into the teens for tonight. Coming up, I'll let you know how tomorrow's forecast is looking. Back to you guys.
Okay, Deshaun, thank you. A man charged with shooting and killing his wife and injuring her mother in New Britain Monday morning appeared in court today. Police found 45-year-old Christopher Ray walking on the Berlin Turnpike Tuesday evening. He was taken into custody on different charges, including murder and assault. Fox 61's Kayla Cade also spoke with a victim's friend who is reflecting on her memory tonight.
And that he does pose a serious risk to the safety of another person or persons.
Inside New Britain Superior Court, 45-year-old Christopher Ray watched on in his first court appearance.
The court will set bond at $1 million, but I'll set the percentage at 50% cash to the clerk, and if that's posted, that would satisfy the bond.
According to police, Ray killed his wife and the mother of their two kids, Brianna, earlier this week. Her longtime friend, Ashley Charette, left shocked and confused.
For this to occur, it's like, honestly, mind-blowing. I don't know what goes through a person's head, and I don't know why he would do that.
Brianna was found by the police on the floor of the main level of their home with multiple injuries. Her mother was also injured. Police say she had been shot and is in the hospital in critical condition.
And I really pray for her family, that her kids and her mother are okay.
Charette says she and Brianna met through Charette's mother and a friendship was formed.
She was always there for us. Anything that you can imagine, like my baby shower, Everything, graduations, baby showers, parties, retirement, everything. Like, she was there for everybody. She's very selfless. I just don't understand.
When Charette heard the news about her friend's life being taken away, she couldn't believe it. She thought it was fake.
She never did anything. Like I said, she literally just worked and went to school. I mean, she went on vacations with her kids. She took care of her family.
Brianna graduated as a registered nurse last year and worked for the hospital for special care. They sent a statement saying, quote, "Brianna Ray was a cherished and admired member of our staff, and we are devastated by this tragedy. Our hearts go out to her family, and she will be in our thoughts as we continue the work she was so dedicated to."
She was so hardworking, and honestly, like, she was the best person, very giving, and she was so wonderful.
Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
During the arraignment, a judge also issued 4 protective orders against Ray. While no names were given, the judge ordered Ray to stay away from the individuals and have no contact with them. His next court appearance will be on February 20th.
We have developing news now in Hartford. Firefighters are responding to a house fire this evening.
This happening on South Whitney Street, and Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot is on the scene with all the details.
Deputy Fire Chief here said that the fire broke out on the first floor and that everyone that was inside was able to get out safely. Now I'm going to step out of the frame just so you all can see some of that damage here. We are told that no one will be sleeping here tonight, and this fire is still under investigation.
3:44 this afternoon started receiving 911 calls for a structure fire at 254 South Whitney. Companies arrived on scene, located a 2.5-story wood frame multi-family dwelling.
Now, all the folks that have to go somewhere else for the night, they are working with the relocation team, and we'll have more coming up. For now in Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.